on this lovely evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 5 p.m. I would also like to mention that Councillor Murray is not able to attend this meeting, so she will be absent. I will start things off with the land acknowledgement. So as we gather here in Beaumont, we pause to acknowledge the land we're blessed to live and work on, and to honor those who came before us. We value the enduring relationships with the French pioneers and Indigenous peoples who continue to share their history, knowledge, and culture with our community. We're also thankful for the generations whose dedication and faith helped shape this community into the vibrant city that it is today. Moving on to the next item on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. Do I have a member of council willing to make the motion to Councillor Van Newkirk.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I'll move that the July 21st, 2026 Committee of the Whole meeting agenda be adopted as presented.
Thank you, Councillor. If everyone could put forward their vote, please. So that carries unanimously at 6-0. The next portion of the agenda is the adoption of minutes. Do I have a member of council willing to make the motion to adopt the minutes as presented? Councillor Penrod.
Thank you, Chair. I move that the June 16th, 2026 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes be adopted as presented.
Thank you. I ask that everyone vote. And that also carries unanimously. Have any presenters for open forum?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. We do have 3 open forum registrations this evening. If Surinder could please take his seat.
Perfect, thank you.
Surinder? Yes, please take your seat.
Thank you. Good evening, all.
Thank you. Just 1 second, I will just get your mic set up here.
Did you press the button? No.
Just once more, sorry, there we
One more?
Yeah.
Just once. Thank you, that's perfect.
There you go.
There we go. So just to start off, I will just have you introduce yourself, please. And if you're a resident of Beaumont, please state your address. You'll be given 5 minutes to present your topic.
Thank you.
Thank
My
you.
name is Surinder Singh Kaler. I'm the resident of Beaumont, living at 5304 61st Street. And good evening, Mayor Lisa, members of council, and the city administration. First of all, thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak in front of you all, to express our sincere appreciation for everything you do for the city of Beaumont. As residents, we recognize that managing a growing community comes with many priorities and challenges. We appreciate the effort that goes into making Beaumont a safe, welcoming, and vibrant place to live. We also want to thank the city for supporting the sport of cricket by installing the practice nets and pitch at the Four Seasons Park. We really appreciate that. Thank you. It shows that the city recognizes the growing interest in the sport, and we are truly grateful for that investment. Today, however, we are here to share a challenge that has become increasingly difficult for our specific community. We represent a group of approximately 100 Beaumont residents who regularly play cricket, mainly in the summer. Most of us are young professionals, homeowners, families, and long-term residents who have chosen Beaumont because we believe in this community and want to build a future here. The biggest issue we face is the lack of a dedicated field where we can actually play matches. Every weekend, and often on weekday evenings, we spend valuable time driving from one park to the another, hoping to find an available open field to play. Many parks are already occupied by the other sports or reserved for the organized events. On several occasions, we have even started playing only to discover the field had already been booked. Sometimes it was only 2 people that came to play, but because they had it reserved, we had to leave, and we were 20 plus people playing already. Even when we do find an open space, there is no cricket pitch, so we play directly on the grass. While we make the best of the situation, it limits the quality of the game and makes it difficult for the sport to grow within our own city. Because of these challenges, we are often forced to travel to Edmonton just to play. Unfortunately, Edmonton faces the same problem. Cricket participation has grown tremendously there, and dedicated grounds are almost always fully booked. What should be a simple evening or weekend game often turns into hours of driving, searching, waiting, or not being able to play at all. It has happened with us several times already. Just this summer, we believe Beaumont has an opportunity to become a leader in supporting one of Canada's fastest growing sport. Our request is very straightforward and practical. We respectfully ask the city to designate one of existing fields as dedicated cricket field. In the future, as resources allow, we hope that field could include a proper pitch as well. This would provide a permanent home for a growing support in the city, encourage healthy and active lifestyle, strengthen community connections, and allow Beaumont residents to enjoy recreation within the city that they proudly call home. Our cricket community is committed to being a positive partner with the city. We are always ready to volunteer. As I mentioned, we are all young professionals. Help organize activities, promote respectful use of the facility, and support community events. Whenever possible, we don't simply want to use a field, we want to contribute to Beaumont's culture, diversity, and sense of community. On behalf of everyone in our cricket community specifically, we respectfully urge Council to consider our request and work with us to find the best possible solution. A dedicated cricket field would have a meaningful impact on the lives of many current residents while also serving the growing number of families who contribute to choose Beaumont as their home. Thank you again for your time, your leadership, and for listening to our concern. We sincerely appreciate your consideration and look forward to working together to make Beaumont an even stronger and more inclusive community. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that presentation. You're welcome to stay as we see if any councillors have any questions.
For sure.
It does appear that Councillor Penrod has a question. So Councillor Penrod, go ahead.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Natellenbus. Thank you for the presentation, Surinder. Just 2 quick questions for you. First, have you and your group had the opportunity to present this request to the Recreation and Culture Advisory Committee as of yet?
This is the first time we're making any official request.
Okay, great. So that would be something that I would suggest to you as a good next step to help you to understand some of what's involved in your request. This is something that other community organizations have done, and we're having some good success, I think, getting people channeled through there. And then you're in touch with administration, and you can kind of understand everything that is required in a request like this. So maybe the clerk who helped you register for tonight could help steer you in the direction to get registered with that committee.
Awesome.
So that
I'll
would
in
be a
touch.
suggestion.
It was Stacy, so we'll be in touch with her.
Perfect. And then second question is, what types of fields are you currently using when you describe driving around and looking for an open space?
100%. So we're mainly using one of the soccer field that is close to the Anytime Fitness, just across the city.
Yeah.
And the other field that, if it is available, then in Four Seasons Park, any of the baseball grounds.
Okay. And are you ever, I mean, you mentioned having to yield because somebody came that had the field booked. Have you tried to book fields for the purpose of playing cricket?
Not yet.
Okay. So that'd be another thing that could be discussed at the Rec and Culture Advisory Committee.
Sure.
Thank you again. Great presentation.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Councillor Penrod. It appears Mayor Vanderquack is up next.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I just want to have a question. So you mentioned there's 100 residents in Beaumont that play cricket right now. Do you have like an organized club? Have you formulated a organized cricket club?
Yes, so it's not official, like we haven't registered it anywhere. But if needed, then we can definitely get their address, names, and their contact information that they are the residents of Beaumont. However, we do have an Instagram page where our club is growing and we're regularly posting our content there.
That would be a recommendation I would have as well, because when you have an organized club, there's a commitment, there's, moving forward in terms of organized games and everything like that. So I would suggest that you reach out to the people that you know of and formulate something like that that will give you a stronger position as well in terms of moving forward.
For sure.
Yeah. Thanks.
However, we do participate in all different tournaments across Edmonton and closer cities, and we do represent Beaumont. Our club name is Beaumont Kings.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming tonight.
Thanks.
Perfect, thank you. It does not appear that there's any other councillors with any questions, so I thank you again for your presentation. That being said, moving along the agenda here, Madam Clerk, my understanding that there are some other presenters.
That's correct. If we could please have Sarah take her seat at the presentation table.
Perfect, thank you. Welcome, Sarah. I actually don't need you to state your address, that's just for a public hearing, but I will have you state your name, and again, you'll be given 5 minutes to present, and if you could just confirm if you're a Beaumont resident.
I am.
Perfect, thank you.
Right. My name is Sarah and I hold a Master of Education. My research has centered on public policy and its health and safety effects on young children, but most importantly, I'm Robin's mom. Today, I'm going to take you through our current strategic plan to prove that the city daycare is not a problem, but in fact a solution to many issues faced in our community. First, let's talk clear, responsible, and reliable public services. In the first childcare funding model, over 80% of daycare costs are now covered by provincial and federal grants. This is public money that is specifically earmarked for Beaumont families, but once it hits a private center's profit margins, we cannot control where that money goes and if it actually contributes to making Beaumont a better place to live. Conversely, when considering the city daycare, we know that every penny that was meant for Beaumont families went to Beaumont families. 100% of the money stayed here and helped to strengthen the community through a passionate and engaged team of educators. That is clear, responsible, and reliable public service. On the topic of money, we have heard from Council that cost is the main barrier to keeping the daycare open. Many reasonable solutions to this exist, such as changing the fees at SAS, leveraging economies of scale by expanding through the new building that has already been budgeted for, or raising the cost recovery benchmark. Alternatively, you could continue letting the daycare do its outstanding work and proudly state that you think our kids are worth the $1.45 a month we are asking you for. However, in discussing these issues with parents, you have heard from us that our main concern is health and safety. This should be one of Council's main concerns also, as keeping Beaumont a safe place to live and raise a family is a second strategic goal. The money provided to the daycare has produced a standard of excellence that acts as a market anchor and exerts a positive competitive force on the local childcare market, thus working to raise the standard of care for all kids in Beaumont. User fees are capped by the province, so the only way private centers can make profit is by reducing the quality of programming or hiring less staff at lower wages. Because the only way to make profit is to cut costs, nonprofit and municipally operated centers are usually in higher demand due to better staffing, quality programming, and superior health and safety metrics. The Talent Daycare far exceeds the minimum licensing requirements for things like first aid and educator qualifications. Private centers use surplus dollars for whatever they want, but nonprofit or municipally operated centers are mandated to use all dollars available to increase the quality of their programming, thus driving the overall market towards a better product. However, outside of the city daycare, there's a shortage of nonprofit centers here. Therefore, the city daycare feels a dire social infrastructure need. Beaumont hovers very close to being classified as a childcare desert, but even with new centers opening, the number of viable options from a health and safety perspective has remained critically low. In the past 18 months, 40% of our daycares have recorded serious health and safety violations. If you include centers that have also undergone complaint investigations, that number rises to 53%. Some of the violations in the last 18 months: staff not having criminal records checks, harmful substances stored in reach of children, failure to supervise children at all times, and 3 for child guidance, which means kids were physically punished, verbally degraded, isolated, or denied basic necessities like food or water as a form of punishment. Beaumont. If the town doesn't provide social infrastructure where it is needed, it means parents need to sacrifice their jobs, move, or take their money to different communities. Safe, quality childcare is as necessary for parents to be able to work as the road they drive on to get there. The parents behind me and on the live stream agree it takes a village to raise a child. Our village up to this point has been Beaumont, a place where kids have traditionally meant more than a budget line. Beaumont is growing rapidly, but still maintains the heart of a small town, the pulse of which are the unique, long-standing community services you simply can't find elsewhere. The spirit of Beaumont is here in this room, a community coming together to say that thoughtful growth cannot come from cuts. This leads to the third section of the strategic plan, supporting thoughtful growth that makes sense for the community. So where is the common sense in closing the highest quality, most in-demand care in our city? When we talk thoughtful growth, we must also consider the equitable access and stability of that growth. Private daycares are 97% more likely to close in their first 4 years, leading to major disruption for families and major headaches for developers. Private centers are also statistically less likely to provide specialized care for kids with diverse needs. They can claim that they can't afford to accommodate these children, and so the refusal isn't viewed as discrimination. My own child was nearly rejected at a center for having an EpiPen. The city daycare is the only childcare in Beaumont that is unable to pick and choose from their applicant list. Yes, childcare is critical to families, but ELCC and SAS are critical to our sense of community. Our town motto is life is better in Beaumont. Not Beaumont means minimum licensing requirements. We are trying to help you. We want you to understand that if you close the daycare, you will be seen as going out of your way to champion inferior conditions for our children. But to keep the daycare open would be to breathe life into every section of your strategic plan, a success for the council and a success for the community. It plainly comes down to this. A good deal for kids is a good deal for Beaumont. Thank you for your time.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for that presentation. I am looking around to councillors, and I do not see anyone with any questions. So appreciate you coming forward. Appreciate the presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Moving along on the agenda, Madam Clerk, I believe there's one last
That's correct.
open forum.
If we could have Erica take her seat, please.
Thank you. Welcome, Erica. I know we already said your name, but I'll have you repeat it as well and just confirm if you're a resident of Beaumont, and you'll have 5 minutes to present.
Yes, I am a resident of Beaumont. My name is Erica Campbell.
Thank you.
Okay. Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. Today I will be speaking in response to the 2026 review of the municipal-run daycare. My name is Erica Campbell, as I said, and I've been a resident of Beaumont for 4 years. I currently have 2 children attending ELCC, one of which will be moving to SAS shortly. When I heard about the review, I had many questions. I quickly realized that although I have experience with the financial side as an accountant, I do not have expertise in childcare, municipal-run programs, and understanding these specific benefits to communities. So I reached out to those who did. I've been in communication with researchers, daycare directors, childcare advocates, charity directors, and advisory council members. I began asking questions and gathering relevant information so that I could ensure I had a thorough understanding. I must add that I was met with such support and kindness, and this daycare's excellent reputation was brought up again and again throughout this process. I am very proud to be where I am. The executive director of the Drayton Valley Municipal Run Daycare, Bernice Taylor, was very helpful in highlighting key benefits to the community, such as the fact that childcare is what draws workforce to our communities. It is what stabilizes our service industry and is needed to attract professionals who wish to serve the community. In addition, she has provided the following quote to be shared. The Early Childhood Development Center has provided a safe, nurturing environment to Drayton Valley families so they could maintain their businesses. Childcare is a critical role in our economic development and has been pivotal in retention of employees in our community. This is not special to Drayton Valley, and in these economic challenging times, we have been counted on for quality care. Families shouldn't need to worry about childcare, and we know municipal care are some of the longest-run programs in the province. Work that well-known policy researcher Martha Friendly has done has been very helpful in understanding the municipal daycare model and the many benefits. For example, Publicly operated childcare programs have been effective in meeting service gaps, piloting innovative practices, and addressing emerging issues. There are also benefits to our staff, such as opportunities for learning and career growth. These factors feed into the high employee retention and low turnover. In my personal experience with daycares, low turnover and high quality go hand in hand. I had the pleasure of speaking with Dr. Susan Cake, who serves as the chair for Childcare Now Alberta. She has very eloquently stated that during difficult economic times like these, that families really look to all levels of government to do what they can to make life more affordable and just a little less hard, particularly young families. I hope they keep being a government that these families and more can turn to for things they need to be supported and successful in our cities and towns. Excuse me. One of my most memorable conversations was with a member of the National Advisory Council on Early Learning and Childcare. They reminded me that Beaumont is actually in a fantastic position right now as a well-established, successful municipal-run daycare. The trending of the public funding from the federal government has been increasing since 2021. And even just on June 19th, there was an announcement of an additional $5.4 billion over 2 years. As 80% publicly funded, childcare is now thought of as a public good. Public funds deliver public value. Beaumont is in a fantastic position to celebrate their successes and expand the reach where we can. In my opinion, having a municipal-run daycare says the following: we as a city understand the needs of our citizens and want to ensure that we provide consistent, high-quality standards where we can. When Urban Systems did their presentation, they stated that it really comes down to, do you want to run a municipal daycare? And my question to council is, why wouldn't you? Thank you.
Thank you, Erica, for your presentation. I really appreciate it. That being said, I'll open up the floor to council members to see if anyone has any questions. And it does not appear that there are any additional questions, so thanks again.
Thank you.
So thanks again for the open forum. Really appreciate the presence of all participants. Would like to see the chambers full this time, this much all the time. So that being said, we are slated to go into closed session. But I would encourage everyone to stay because there's additional presentations after the fact. But I am going to ask for a motion to go into closed session. And I ask that Mayor Vander Kwak.
The council move into closed session at 5:23 pursuant to the Access to Information Act, Sections 26 and 29.
Thank you, Mayor. I ask that we vote on that, please. And that carries unanimously. So as mentioned, unfortunately, everyone will have to leave for the closed session, but I do encourage folks to stay for the presentations that come later. Thank you so much.